You want to hear about the wildest afternoon of my life? The one where I wiped out 142 HOA violations in a single swoop, just by letting nature do its thing? Yeah, buckle up, because this tale's got family roots digging deep into the earth. A sneaky dam that nobody saw coming. An HOA boss lady who ruled like she owned the whole damn mountain. And me, the quiet guy who finally said enough is enough. It all kicked off when those fancy folks from Ridgeview Heights Estates decided my family's old reservoir was their playground, building right on my shore like they had the deed in their pocket. But they forgot one tiny detail. I hold the reins on the water, and when they cross that line, I let it loose. See, my kin's been tied to this rugged slice of the Sierra Nevada foothills for generations. Not the flashy kind of ownership, mind you, but the gritty, callous building sort, where you earn every acre with sweat and smarts. My great-great-grandpa, Josiah Harland, snapped up over 1,800 acres back in the 20s. Land folks called worthless. Steep, rocky, no good for crops or cattle. But Josiah? He was a sharp-eyed civil engineer, spotted potential where others saw junk. Water, pure and powerful, funneling through a tight canyon where 4 creeks met up. With his own cash, a ragtag crew of locals and stones quarried right from the hills, he built this beast of a dam. Solid rock masonry, overbuilt like he knew trouble might come knocking someday. It birthed a 600-acre reservoir we called Harland's Hollow, and up on a bluff overlooking it all, he slapped together a sturdy log cabin that's still my home base today. Wasn't just for the view, though. Josiah designed it for flood taming and maybe hydropower down the line, though he never wired it up. For decades, us Harlands kept watch, paid the taxes, patched the cracks, savored the peace. The trust deeds locked it down tight. The dam, the bed, the ripples themselves, all ours, riparian rights and all. Me? I'm Jack Harland, mid-40s, hydrological engineer by trade. Spent my life knee-deep in that water's secrets, but to outsiders, I was just the hermit up the ridge, minding my own. Fast forward a couple years, and boom, the world crashes our quiet party. Some slick developer outfit, Summit Living, scoops up 900 acres we sold off in the 80s to settle some inheritance mess, carves it into this upscale enclave called Ridgeview Heights. Gated, glossy, full of McMansions with killer views of my reservoir. At first, I shrugged it off. Live and let live, right? Folks got a nest somewhere. But then Marjorie Klein rolls in. Oh man, Marjorie, she wasn't just HOA president. She was the queen bee, mid-50s, tooling around in a pearl white Range Rover, decked in designer hiking gear like she was starring in her own catalog shoot. Brittle smile, eyes like chips of ice, always scanning for ways to turn beauty into bucks. She eyed Harland's Hollow like it was her golden ticket, renaming it our community jewel in those glossy newsletters. Started small, passive digs about enjoying the shared lake responsibly, then emails straight to me. Mr. Harland, your boathouse could use a refresh. Here's our approved styles. I shot back polite but firm. Ma'am, your rules stop at my fence, my boathouse, my call. That lit the fuse. Marjorie couldn't stomach defiance, especially from a reclusive bachelor holed up in that relic, as I overheard her gripe at the local feed store. She pegged me as easy pickings, ignoring that I'd mapped every inch of that dam since I could walk. Big mistake number 1, underestimating a man who knows his water like his own heartbeat. Her ego blinded her to the real bomb. 142 cabins, a bogus boundary grab, and zero respect for lines drawn in stone, literally. It escalated over a simple marker post I put up along our shared edge, all surveyed and flagged, just to keep things clear. Good fences, good neighbors, you know. But Marjorie? She saw fences as suggestions, dropped a newsletter bombshell. Exciting news, our Ridgeview recreation haven. A beach, docks, picnic spots, all sketched pretty on a map that swallowed 40 acres of my prime waterfront. I lawyered up quick, fired off a cease and desist with county records proving their haven was my turf. Her comeback? A fresh survey that nudged the line just enough to claim my cove. Turns out, their expert was a disgraced hack, license yanked for faking docks elsewhere. I dug deep, weekends with my GPS gear retracing every pin, stacking proof like a fortress. Old deeds from Josiah's day, topo maps, the works. Sent it all certified, thought facts would win the day. Naive me. At the HOA powwow, I crashed for kicks. Marjorie hoisted my packet like trash, snarling to the crowd, "This is harassment from that crank up the hill. Our lake, our future. We won't back down." The room erupted in claps, her cronies nodding like bobbleheads, drunk on her vibe. They greenlit bulldozers that Monday. I watched from my porch as they ripped through my oaks, dust choking the air. Called the sheriff. Deputy shows, gets dueling maps. Civil beef, he sighs. Sorted in court. Marjorie grinned like a shark. New lawsuits drag, costs pile up. She bet I'd fold. Wrong again. While she schemed delays, 6 months to a hearing, she went nuclear. Phase 2? Summit cabins. 142 Lux prefab units crammed along my stolen shore. Slabs poured. Wires run. Plumbing hooked. Multi-million gamble. Build fast. Make it done deal. Dare a judge to tear it down. Her daily drive-bys, pausing at the site to glare up at my cabin, smirk etched on her face. "What now, Harland?" her posture screamed. Inside, it gnawed at me. Not just the land grab, but the erasure of Josiah's legacy. The peace my dad taught me to guard. I felt that old Harland fire stir, the kind born from folks who built with bare hands against odds. But I played smart, diving into Grandpa's study, yellowed blueprints, journals scribbling flow math, spillway specs. Key gem, the reservoir's natural brim at 1752 feet elevation, but Josiah held it steady at 1745 for safety, 7 feet of buffer, a watery safety net. Plotted it out. My cabin sat high and dry, but those cabins, nestled right in that floodplain, foundations kissing the lake bed proper. They weren't on shore. They were in it, technically. Nights in the dam's pump house I prepped. Oiled gears, tested seals on those massive hand-crank valves, slow-turn beasts, built to prevent rash moves. Documented obsessively. Drones buzzing weekly, snapping proof of cabins below the high-water contour. Tipped off state enviro folks about their permit skips, runoff risks. Marjorie blew off their slap like lint. Legally, I armored up with my attorney, old Gus, who balked at first. "You're gonna what?" But flipped when I laid out the deeds. Rights to tweak levels for maintenance. We penned a killer notice. 48 hours to clear your junk from my easement, or the water rises for essential checks. Certified mail, her signature scrawled. I pictured her scoffing. More bluster from the hillbilly. Ignored, of course. They even trucked in sofas the next day. Deadline dawn broke misty, crews humming like nothing's amiss. Curtains up, logs stacked. At 9 sharp, I called the sheriff. Routine dam work ahead, raising to full marks slow-like, all notified. Then Gus. Go time. Heart pounding. Not rage, but resolve, like Josiah whispering, "Protect what's ours." Down in the dam's guts, cool stone echoing, I gripped the first wheel, stiff, then groaning alive as I cranked, gates easing shut below. Creaks poured in unchecked. The rise began, whisper soft at first, an inch stealing toward those slabs. By noon, water nibbled the turf. Crews shrugged it off as a quirk. 1 p.m., it lapped foundations. Foreman on his phone yelling, "What the hell?" Panic rippled. Board suits arrive, then Marjorie's rover screeches in. Through binocs, I saw her storm the edge, heels sinking, barking at the tide like it cared. "This is sabotage. Fix it now." Water didn't flinch, creeping up doors, short sparking, pallets drifting like ghosts. No roar, just relentless reclaim, biblical but calm nature's quiet eviction. By dusk, 5 feet up, lower rows drowned, furniture bloating, silt invading. Marjorie and the deputy hit my drive. She's hysterical, jabbing, "Arrest him! He's flooding us deliberately." Deputy trudges up, weary. I hand him water, walk him through. Receipts, blueprints, deeds. "See, officer? That's my easement underwater now. Debris they dumped. Ignored my warning." His eyes widen. Down below, Marjorie's unraveling rage melting to dread in the cruiser's glow. Left the level high a month. Let it soak, warp, teach. Fallout? Investors bolted. Insurance cried negligence over the fraud. Suits flew against Marjorie, Devs, the lot. She got booted in a fiery meeting. Rover vanishing for good. HOA tanked. Land flipped cheap to a wildlife group. Me? Lowered it back. Hired crews to gut the mess. Sold scrap. Won a fat judgment to fund resto. Replanted natives. Contours healed. 2 years on, it's wild again. Birdsong raining. But here's the kicker that sticks with me. Was I the hero or just another bully with leverage? Sure, they stole first, driven by greed, that power rush of bending rules for community good. But maybe I could have talked more, found middle ground. Or, nah, some fights demand a stand, right? What do you think? Drop a comment. Was letting the water rise justice served or overkill? Ever tangled with an HOA nightmare or defended your patch like this? Share your take. Love hearing how you'd handle it. Hit like if this hit home, subscribe for more real-life showdowns. Catch you next time.